China is one of the cradles of ancient human civilization, with a history spanning more than 5,000 years and a geographical space stretching from the arid deserts of Inner Mongolia to the snow-capped mountains of Tibet. This place is attractive, with famous historical sites such as the Great Wall and the Forbidden City, and it contains countless strange landscapes and architectural works that amaze people. Along the country's length, from the sharp stone forests rising into the blue sky in Yunnan, to the colorful Rainbow Mountains in Gansu, or even the temples hanging precariously on cliffs. Each wonder is a unique combination of nature and human hands. Many of them carry mysterious stories, even challenging modern science. If you think you know everything about China, this list might surprise you. Let's explore some of China's most unique and bizarre wonders. These destinations are beautiful and bring a sense of mystery, surrealism, and curiosity to anyone who sets foot on them. The first unique landmark in China's strangest wonders is the cliff coffin in Sichuan. Southern China has long been known for its breathtakingly beautiful rivers, mountains, forests, and towering mountain ranges. And it is also home to one of China's oldest historical mysteries, the hanging coffins on the cliffs along the Yangtze River. Experts believe that the practice of burying the dead in hanging cemeteries originated with northern ethnic minorities, who began the tradition some 3,000 years ago. Incredibly, the coffins are hung securely from cliffs or placed in ravines up to 130 meters high. For decades, scholars have struggled to explain why northerners practiced this burial ritual, and how they were able to get the coffins to such complex and dangerous locations. The earliest evidence of hanging coffins in China appears in ancient texts from the Fujian province over 3 millennia ago. The practice of burying the dead in hanging coffins on cliffs gradually spread to neighboring regions in southern China, especially Hubei, Sichuan, and Yunnan provinces. Experts speculate that these coffins were created by ethnic minorities whose civilizations emerged simultaneously. Records of hanging coffins and ethnic minorities disappeared during the Ming Dynasty. There are some indications that the Ming Dynasty massacred the Bo people, leading to their genocide. However, where these people came from and what happened to them remains a matter of debate. There are many theories as to why they chose to take their dead to a place far from where they lived, hanging them on cliffs overlooking rivers. It all has to do with the spiritual beliefs of the ancients. Family duty or filial piety has long been integral to Asian culture. The custom of ancestor worship has existed for thousands of years. Historically, many Chinese people chose to bury their deceased relatives close to home, so that they could conveniently care for the grave and worship. According to folk beliefs, ancestor worship is a way to remember and care for the deceased soul. A happy and satisfied soul will not return to haunt and cause trouble for the living. However, these people have a completely different concept. They take their deceased relatives to remote, isolated places. Some scholars believe that according to the indigenous people's concept, the higher the status of the corpse, the greater the respect and gratitude of the living towards the dead, which makes the dead happy. If the living can make the ancestors' spirits happy, those spirits will bless them and bring them good luck. On the other hand, in ancient times, many people believed that divine spirits could reside in natural places, such as rocks, mountains, or water. According to Guo Jing of the Yunnan Provincial Museum in China, mountain peaks or high places were considered auspicious and close to heaven. He speculates that cliffs represented stairways to heaven for those people, and coffins were like bridges leading to the afterlife. Another hypothesis is that they may have chosen the cliff as a burial site for both practical reasons of preserving the body and spiritual beliefs. Accordingly, the body of the deceased needs to be maintained in the best possible condition, limiting decomposition to ensure that the soul is always pure when entering the next life. Therefore, keeping the body away from animals and humans to limit disturbance and harm is extremely important. In addition, the coffin or tomb hanging on the cliff is always dry, airy, and shaded. Therefore, the decomposition process is also slowed down. If buried underground, high humidity and the impact of organisms will accelerate the decomposition process. Records show that coffins were hung from cliffs in 3 ways. On supports protruding from the vertical cliffs, inside natural caves or crevices, and on rocky outcrops along the mountain. They were scattered from heights of 9 meters to more than 120 meters above the ground. In total, the weight of the coffins and bodies could have been several hundred kilograms. So, how could they have been carried up the cliffs? This question has been debated for decades, and there are currently 3 hypotheses. One theory is that these people built dirt roads to form paths along the cliffs. Then, the coffins would be carried up these roads. The effort required to make such dirt roads is considerable, disproportionate to the small size of the ethnic minority community. Another theory is that they hung the coffins on the cliffs with a system of stakes. However, to date, no evidence of this activity has been found. Using ropes to move the coffins seems to be the most plausible theory. The fact that scientists have found several ropes inside caves near where the coffins were hung further supports this theory. The coffins were sometimes lowered from above using ropes, but sometimes they were pulled up from the ground. Until now, experts have not been able to explain why ancient people could transport coffins. The next extraordinary place that strange distant land wants to send you to is Shuangru Mountain. South of Xiangyang Town, Chongqing County, there is Songru Mountain. At the foot of Songru Mountain is a small mountain village called Songru Village. Shuangru Mountain attracts many tourists because of its unique shape. which resembles a woman's breast. This mountain is called Treasure Mountain by the locals because it has been confirmed that many cultural relics are buried under the hill, waiting to be excavated. Still, many locals are afraid of this mountain because the villagers in Shuangru village below the mountain have inexplicably fallen ill and died. The villagers believe that all of these are related to Shuangru Mountain. Recently, the reporter went to Shuangru Mountain in Chongqing to find out. In the past, there was an ancient stone tablet next to the ancient road west of Songru village. On the tablet was engraved the following words in front of the village: "There is a Songru Mountain." Although it is not a famous mountain, it is why the village is safe. All the places where the veins intersect are related to the village. It is said that if the places where the veins intersect are opened, there will be sudden disasters in the village. Therefore, it has been forbidden for many years, and no one has opened the stone to take it. In the 1960s, the people around began to take soil from the mountain, ignoring the warnings on the mountain closing monument. Some elders in the village were deeply worried about this, especially in the late 1970s, when some surrounding villages started to get rich. Some young people in Shuangru village finally couldn't hold back. They ignored the elders' opposition in the town and the mysterious curse on the mountain closing monument, and began to mine rocks on Shuangru Mountain and transport them out for profit. However, some strange things happened one after another, which shocked the villagers. Are the villagers' disabilities, illnesses, and deaths related to the mining of rocks? Is it just a coincidence? Everyone says it's just superstition, but the facts cast a mysterious veil over Shuangru Mountain. In a complex mood of fear and awe, the villagers once stopped mining. However, many years later, the young people in the village began to think about Shuangru Mountain again. They ignored the repeated dissuasion of the elders and devoured Shuangru Mountain at a faster speed. Shuangru Mountain is cursed. After about a year, the experts of the archaeological team completed the excavation of the ancient tomb. It turned out that there was such a big secret hidden on Shuangru Mountain. Lu Quan's tomb is directly dug into a cave with a total area of about 1.500 square meters. It is divided into two parts: the tomb chamber and the tomb passage, with a total length of 85 meters and a depth of 22 meters. Many treasures were unearthed from Lu Quan's tomb: over 2.400 pieces of bronze, jade, lacquer, iron, pottery, gold cakes, and chariot and horse equipment. Among them, Lu Quan's jade mask is particularly precious. These precious burial objects can be considered priceless treasures, and they have also played an essential role in archaeologists' and historians' study of the history of the Western Han Dynasty. After the excavation of the ancient tomb, some stories about the owner of the tomb, Lu Quan, were spread among the villagers. It is said that Lu Quan, the king of Jiabei, was free and lawless. He did something that the then Emperor Han Wu, could not forgive. On a dark and windy night, Lu Quan came to the back garden alone, muttering something in his mouth, which was a curse on the current Emperor Han Wu. Emperor Wu of Han soon learned that Lu Quan cursed the emperor. Emperor Wu of Han immediately sent people to the Jiabei state to bring Lu Quan to justice. After learning the news, Lu Quan was already frightened. When the emperor's detention order arrived, Lu Quan drew his sword and committed suicide in his mansion. Lu Quan died because he cursed the emperor. Could it be that this curse fell on the villagers of Shuangru village again? Today, there is still a saying in Shuangru village: villagers have become sick, died, or become disabled one after another, which is a disaster caused by the excavation of the Han tomb. This saying is like a thread that ties every villager's heart, becoming an insurmountable fear and taboo. Lu Jing Sao de Yuan. The village party secretary of Shuangru village, is 52 years old this year. He is very familiar with the changes in the village. Sao de Yuan said that a family named Dong is north of the ancient tomb. His wife, son, and daughter all died of cancer one after another. Several families to the east also died of illness. There are 3 or 4 families whose villagers died of illness, and 5 or 6 people died one after another. There are also several families whose children are deaf. Especially the death of villager Baoshan, which makes the villagers believe this mysterious curse punishes them. The villagers believe that all these disasters are related to the ancient tomb. Regarding the mysterious curse of Shuangru Mountain and the villagers' fear, He Waiguo, director of the Cultural Relics Bureau of Chongqing District, believes this is a superstitious view. The stone tablet with the mysterious curse has now been collected by the Cultural Relics Bureau. The Qing government deliberately wrote that tablet to prevent people from climbing the mountain, quarrying stones, and intimidating the villagers. Next, let's find out why Wenfeng Tower hangs but does not collapse. The Wenfeng Pagoda, located southeast of Jian Village in Xishen County, Shaanxi Province, stands atop an earthen mound surrounded by open fields. Half of the pagoda's foundation is still connected to the slope, while the other half is completely suspended in mid-air, resembling a person standing on one leg atop the mound. Due to its age, the earthen mound is riddled with holes caused by years of wind and rain erosion, putting the pagoda at risk of collapse. It is a structure from the Ming and Qing dynasties and is classified as an ungraded immovable cultural relic in the 3rd National Cultural Relics Census. In July 2014, a photo showing the pagoda appearing to be suspended like a rocket ready for launch went viral online, and netizens humorously dubbed it the Strong Tower. Due to prolonged soil and water erosion, the small hill beneath the pagoda has been worn into a cone shape, leaving nearly half of the pagoda's foundation suspended in mid-air, posing a constant risk of collapse. Local authorities are collecting relevant data and preparing to install protective fencing. A qualified architectural restoration firm will be commissioned to create a restoration plan, which will be implemented immediately after approval. The last interesting place that strange distant land wants to send you in this video is the geyser that shoots into the sky in Tibet. The Tagsha Geyser area is distributed in a nearly north-south fault basin on the north side of the Yarlung-Zangbo River active tectonic belt. The hydrothermal activity in the region is intense, with more than 200 springs of various sizes and nearly 100 boiling springs, with water temperatures of 85 to 86. On August 2, 1975, a violent eruption was observed, with a steam column with a diameter of more than 2 meters rushing out of the spring mouth and spraying up to 20 meters, which was a spectacular sight. The geyser soars to the sky. The geothermal geology team of the Tibet Bureau of Geology and Mineral Resources observed on the spot at 10 a.m. on July 4, 1987. The low tide lasted for about 30 seconds. With a maximum spray height of 10 meters, the high tide lasted for 10 seconds. With a maximum spray height of more than 20 meters. More than 10 years have passed between the above two observations. And the intensity has not decreased, indicating that the Tagsha geyser is still in intense activity. Here are some unique wonders in China that you have never seen anywhere else. If the video's content excites you, please like and subscribe to the channel to support the Strange Distant Land team. Your love is the biggest motivation for us to continue exploring and creating richer content to send you. Thank you for watching this video. I wish you good health and happiness in life. Goodbye and see you again.